Colorado, and guess what? It is hockey season officially. And if you're a nut like we are about this team and this game, it feels literally like the first day of school. Eric got up at like 4 o'clock this morning, and he was literally sitting in the car waiting for me. I thought that was a little maybe advanced, but we are excited to be here, and we are excited to talk about it. Some cool stuff came out of today. It was day number 1 of camp, and we're glad to have you along. So the DNVR Avs pod starts right now. We got AJ. Rudo's with us, of course. We got Big E and Yaya's turning the dials over there. And, of course, I'm Gizmo. Glad to be with you guys today. Cool meeting some of you guys. Everybody was coming up and being very friendly and saying hello. And let's just get right into this, guys. Long day, 2 different groups. They skate for about 2 hours. Then we get a chance to go in the locker room, talk to the guys. That's pretty standard around the league. I just kind of want, like, off-the-cuff first impressions from everybody in terms of just – obviously hockey being back, but then what do we think overall about the day? AJ?
Lower intensity than I was expecting.
Okay.
It was not quite the bloodletting of anger that we have seen on the first day of training camp in previous years where, you know, some of the guys that were holdovers from playoff losses came back out and got a lot of that aggression out in day one. So that not as intense as I was expecting, but still the Avalanche pace. Mm-hmm. And you could still see some of the newer guys really, you know, Casey Middlestadt and Eric Brandstrom both at different times were guys that I was like, oh, hey, buddy, not prepared for this.
Well, my overall take, and then Rudo, I want to hear what you think. I don't know. I mean, I was an okay hockey player. I was, and I wasn't necessarily what you would call a drill buster, but I would not be at the front of the line after some drill explanations today.
Oh, my gosh.
Coach Bednar is a rock star coach, but, I mean, I watched him explaining some drills, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, I don't know what's happening. And then he would draw it up, and then he would come back to it, and I was like, nope. I'm definitely going, like, 3rd or 4th in the drill.
Need to see a couple
I need to see it a couple times before I give it a go.
Whatever drill it was in the first session where he made the same circle 6
That's
times in a row.
That's what I said. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. I'm like, do I loop 3-time loop that circle before I go up ice?
Yeah, I don't know. And then they didn't stop it. So whatever he was saying, the circles worked.
It went well. It went well. I would have been nervous. I'd have been very nervous.
Funnily enough, the thing I noticed immediately was the first guy in those drills today. We've watched a lot of hockey over the past couple of days at the rookie face-off level. If you're a nerd like me, you've watched a lot of random KHL, junior kids, whatever in the offseason just to get your hockey fix. Mm-hmm. One drill, first guy, Nathan McKinnon, flies down the ice, picks a corner, and you just go, oh, okay, right. This is what real hockey looks like. Okay, got it.
The eye test is real when it comes to, like, we said that when we were in Los Angeles. At that point we had watched about 2.5-3 days of the rookie face-off, and then we went over and popped over and watched the big boy LA Kings, vets skate, and you're like, yeah. A little different. Different pace.
No, it is, and that's why. and for example, take Max Curran, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, raw draft pick, did awesome last weekend. Awesome. This is a guy you're going to have to keep an eye on the next few years, right? But you look at it today, and you're like, okay, it's a little raw, right? It's a little raw because it's not fair. You're looking at McKinnon, then you're looking at him, and I'm not bashing Max. I think he's doing fantastic. It's just looking back at guys at their first camp to their 10th camp, look at Mikko's first camp compared to now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a progression. It takes time. You have to get used to the pace. And like you said, it wasn't the pace that, like you were saying, but it's still Avalanche pace, and it is overwhelming for some kids. And it's funny because you're doing something, you're supposed to react quickly, and it's like, whoa, that was way too fast. You know what I mean? But it's nice to see the leaders, the core guys, go to the front of the drills. Rudo and I were watching. I think it was Mikko that went a couple times, and you're like, okay, you should know those drills.
Well, that's what you're hoping for.
That's what you're hoping for. That's what leadership is. And those guys are used to those drills. And, listen, he takes those first few days to implement the systems and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'll say it again. God, I just wish there was some scrimmage right now. And I know Coach E doesn't like that, which is fine. But for me, that's the one point I'd like to see a little bit of scrimmage, because you haven't seen hockey in so long.
We got the second half of the sessions.
Control. Yeah.
You got 5-on-5.
Yeah,
at least where you're like, okay, like
All
they're
right.
dumping and they're working.
Yeah,
and great. These are real hockey things, not like,
a little better.
no, Alexander Georgiev's getting lit up because he's 2-on-0 breakaways
Right.
over and over and over, and you're like, wow, they have a goaltending problem. Like, it was a little bit different. So I did really appreciate. Thank God they got into real hockey stuff.
There's a little bit of rust too, even though they have been skating. It changes when you get here. And Coach actually said it. It was funny. You'll hear it. We have a bunch of different sound for you coming up. We talked to Bellemare, Middlestadt, talked to Colton, talked to Coach. Coach's press conference went for quite some time, so we'll give you a bathroom heads-up break before you dive into that. But, even he said he had the rust a little bit. He's like, I had to remember to get out of the way. He goes, I got hit with a puck. He goes, that hasn't happened in a long time. So, everybody's just trying to figure it out.
He skated right into somebody.
He did, yeah.
He skated right into him, and then he put the arm out like he was like it was part of the drill. I'm like, no. You skated into that, man. Stop it.
And the other thing there is right, like he's trying to run the practice. And as a hockey guy, like you get into it. Eric and I have done it when we coach, where you start to kind of flow a little bit. But at the end of the day, too, it's a tryout. So I mean, he's trying to evaluate individual players and look at guys and pick things off at the same time. So I'm glad he's on the ice with them. I think that's important. I for sure do, obviously. But he's obviously he's shaking off the rust too.
Yeah.
So, let's get a couple pieces of business out of the way early on. Not too much news floating around out there. I just keep telling them because I think it's always a big change in the guard. But Radko Gudas announced as the captain of the Anaheim Ducks. Obviously, in some of these organizations, when they were icons in there before, like the Getzlofs in Anaheim and the Jonathan Tazes in Chicago, and then Foligno comes and steps in. Is that hard, Eric? I mean, I've never been in a NHL dressing room as a player. So, I mean, is it tricky when you take over a captaincy from a big name?
Yeah, I think you got to be yourself, and that's why those guys are there. And I think a guy like Gouda Cheese, they're well-respected guy.
Well, he looks like he would murder you if you cross him.
Well-respected guy, one of the most respected teammates in the league, I swear. But I think it's going to be more like like I was telling Rudo, maybe a 2-year thing, you know what I mean? And then one of those young guys will eventually take over. I think it's a stopgap, just like in Chicago.
The optics aren't any secret, right? Everyone knows this is a veteran transitional captain until Leo Carlson or whoever they want to be the next one is ready.
Yeah.
So.
And I would say the same thing happened. I said the same thing the other day about Chicago. Foligno is clearly the mentor to Connor Bedard. They are very close. They become close. It's like big brother, little brother. I think that's clearly, hey, Nick, show him how to be a leader, show him how to be a captain, and then Connor Bedard will wear the C in Chicago at some point, no doubt.
Yeah, he gets to go full Dadco. Finally. It's not just a nickname, but it's a lifestyle now.
Right. Okay, so let's get back to the Avs training camp. We've got some sound for you here coming up in just a minute, but a couple of overarching, at the start of this that I think people were looking at when rosters came out. Let's address Pavel first. Everybody, including us, were like, where is he? Why is he not on there? Coach Bednar did confirm that he was injured at the rookie face-off in L.A., so that's why he's been left off. The big mystery around Shillington has finally been resolved, and it was what we had initially thought, and it was immigration. It was a tough immigration day yesterday, quote unquote, and then on top of that, his gear also did not arrive.
Gear is in France.
He immigrated. His gear did not.
His gear did not immigrate from France. It's still being held up over there. So it's with the stinky cheeses and the sparkly wine, but. He skated. People did see him skate. He was warming up the goalies. He was not wearing his gear. If his gear does not arrive today, he will give it a go tomorrow and be a full participant in not his gear and skates. And
that's the worst feeling.
And I was just gonna say, listen, there is no worse feeling than not being in your boots at a training camp. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. For those of you that don't play hockey, those things are molded for your feet. And at the NHL level, every little detail of those skates is for you. And it's, putting on somebody else's skates is that's foreign. That's foreign. Hey, I lost my underwear. Can I borrow yours today? You just don't do it, okay? It's just not a thing you should ever do. I mean, you can. It's better than don't wear underwear.
He did it.
Yeah, he did.
Don't wear other people's underwear.
Yeah, don't wear other people's underwear.
We're both
That's
medium
the
size.
thing.
That's
yeah,
fine.
we are same size underwear. All right, all eyes on a couple of different guys, and we've got some fun stuff coming up for you across the week. But had a chance to get into the locker room and hear from the new guy who looked fantastic, and we'll talk about him in a second, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
You have leaders that are aiming to be better every single day and to strive to push everybody else to be better. So at my age, there's a lot of questions about, does he still want it? Is he still hungry and everything? But I'm still here, one of the first guys. I still want it. And I always said to my mom, the day I stop learning is the day I will stop playing. It has nothing to do with the money. And I'm having a heck of fun. And I'm still here trying to learn from all those big guys. And so chance to take a PTO in a place that I know, that my family know. It's weird because, I don't technically have a contract, but then when you come here, everybody's welcome back, everybody's big hugs. So it's warming. It's warming despite the situation.
How long did those conversations go with Chris McFarland and this stuff?
He was, to be honest, he was honest right from the get-go. He told me, I think it was maybe a week or 10 days after the deadline open, after the market opened, he told me, you will always have a place to come with us. And so it was exciting to hear that a team like Colorado would take a shot, and like I said, I understand. I'm 39 years old that only played 40 games last year. Yes, I broke my leg, but in this world, it's all about okay, how many games did he play? And if he was a 25-year-old that played, 40 games, he would be fine. But when you're 39, they're like, okay, can he still play really? But I'm healthy and I'm willing to show them that I'm hungry, that I can help the team, because that's what I'm here for.
Sounds like you still want to play. Retirement never a consideration after last year?
I mean, it was, to be honest, 2 years ago, after the year after the final against you, motherfuckers. Sorry. It was I had a surgery the day after that final, and the recovery took way longer because it was I played too long with a broken knee. And when I came back, it was a lot of talk okay, that knee, can't fix it, right? You can't fix that. And then I find ways to fix it and make it better. So now it's all about I'm having fun. Can I be an asset to a team, right? Can I come here and not just be a spectator? Can I be here and try to drive the young guys, try to learn from the old guys? Is my wife okay with me keep on playing? Because I also want to be a dad. And are my kids still, healthy mentally with me not being at home all the time, right? So all of those things come together in a positive way, then I keep playing.
You mentioned that one of the things is you want to keep learning.
Yeah.
And at your age, it seems like that's a good quest for knowledge. Why is that a part of your DNA?
Because I'm not from this world. I should not be here. I'm a French hockey player that had one practice a week until I was 11 years old. That started hockey at 6.5 years old. Financial difficulty as a kid with the family. Mom by herself with 5 kids. These things is not writing for guys like me. So because of that, though, it's also my strength. I come every day thinking wow, this is amazing, right? This is not where I come from. So on an everyday basis, and in a teams where you have guys that have been in the league for 10 years and the lowest contract they've had is $1 million as a 20-year-old. Let's be honest, it's not a normal thing, right? So it's a normal thing for guys to become you know what? This is bad and this is bad, and they start complaining. And then you have a guy like me that are coming every day and be like, what are you talking about? This is absolutely unbelievable, right? And so I think this is one of the reasons why I've still been having fun to play, and I still, in the room, I'm still appreciated by guys because I'm an annoyingly positive person. And I think that's necessary.
All right, love that guy. Had an opportunity to. Today was fun for me, just selfishly. Today was fun for me because it was a reunion with 2 guys that I hadn't seen in a minute. When I came into the NHL, I was calling games, the studio host for the Vegas Golden Knights. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare was there. We did a ton of stuff together, so it was really cool seeing him. He lit up. And then the other big one for me, Calvin DeHaan, as I've mentioned many, many times, is a good friend of mine. It was cool. Hadn't seen him in probably 3 years, like in person. And it was awesome. He just jumped up, came over, and got a quick hug. And obviously, we're going to have Calvin on the show tomorrow. He's going to come and join us. But that was fun. I love that kind of thing. It's the hockey brotherhood.
Quite the quote from Bellemare today too.
We're gonna
some adult language.
We're gonna talk about all of that in a second. We're actually gonna circle back around to Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, but we got to talk about our amazing sponsors, and we do love you guys, and we can't thank you enough for being here. Of course, the wonderful guys at Empire Today, and even though I'm reading this, you're doing the jingle, so just make sure you're ready for that.
God.
No, it's the voice of an angel crying. It's amazing. With Empire Today, you get to shop at home. Convenience. Think about that. It's a good thing. I gave them a compliment. They have the right product for your needs and their quick professional installation, and they've got that price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, there's going to be copycats out there, but you know those guys aren't right. They don't use the materials that Empire Today does. They don't have the technology and the service. They may say they do, but you know that you're getting the real deal when you go with a brand like Empire Today because they've been around for so long and they're so trusted. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. And remember, they've got that really cool virtual system so you can literally go online, put the flooring in your house, see how it looks with your decor, see how the colors feel, see if it's for you before you spend lots of money and some time on getting it done. They are quick, they are professional, and they have the best products out there. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off when they use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/DNVR for details. And if for some reason you don't have a computer or a smartphone, you can call
1-800-588-2300 Empire.
Beauty.
Hey, look.
Woo!
I think my voice probably makes the Angels cry.
They do. In a good way.
No, not in a
if
good
angels
way.
are crying,
No.
they're happy.
But do you know what angels cry?
Tears of Coors Light.
Exactly right. Right into the bottle. And they say it comes from a mountain spring. No, they have to hide the secret that it's actually angel tears, okay? Coors Light, of course, our beer sponsor. Absolutely fantastic beer for any time you're trying to chill. After a long training camp, great to crack one open. Probably going to do that in 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, there you go. So go get yourself a Coors Light, or better yet, stay at home and get one delivered from CoorsLight.com/DNVR. You can get it delivered thanks to Instacart. Easiest way to get it. You barely even have to get up off your couch. All you have to do is go to your front door to pick it up. But, of course, you can find it anywhere in the U.S. Just about everywhere has it. And like I said, that hotel in L.A. might be the only place in the country that didn't have Coors Light. So make sure you go get yourself some. Again, it's the beer made to chill. The mountains turn blue on the bottles and the can. Go get some. Brewed responsibly with Coors Light. Of course, drink responsibly too. Golden, Colorado.
The Sheraton Gateway, by the way, did hear you. I spoke to them.
Oh, good. They'll have Coors.
It's now on tap.
Perfect.
In case you ever swing back into
Good
Los
to know.
Angeles.
I'll be sure.
Yeah. They also they discounted your room, the whole thing. Circle back to Bellemare, and then we're going to hear from Casey Middlestadt and Ross Colton here too, and then we're going to talk about that first session. I thought Bellemare looked good. I thought he looked real good, and I would say that he made a very solid case to be in that fourth line center spot.
Yeah, the big question and the reason why I think he was on the PTO was, can he still skate?
Sure, he mentions it. Was he an old guy?
Yeah, he turns 40 in the middle of this season. He will be 40 years old in the NHL when the postseason starts this year. So you want to know, can he do it? I had no issues today. There wasn't one single time that I looked up and thought, oh, my God, he looks like Ryan Johansson, you know? None of that. He looked fine. And in the second half of their session, when they were playing 5-on-5, matched up head-to-head against Casey Middlestadt's line consistently, did very well.
Yep.
And that, to me, and him in particular, I mean, Jason Poland was also really good.
Yeah,
we'll get there. But Bellemare absolutely, to me, after day one, I'm like, this is where
it's done. Yeah,
he's
the 4C.
This is an easy case. This is a good start for him. The bottom would absolutely have to drop out of this thing over the next week or two. for me to think that somebody else is going to be the opening night fourth line center.
That makes me happy. You know what? I think he can bring something here too, and he knows that. He's smart enough to understand sort of what it is, and I mean, he accepts that role. I think he's happy to be here. His family's happy to be here. He mentioned it multiple times. His wife loves it here. He loves it here. He said one other thing too, and I'm pretty sure we had it in the interview, but you know, he talked about how everybody's welcoming him back already, you know, and at the end, you know, even he and I went up to him when we were not on camera anymore, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, buddy," I said, "I'm great to see you." And he goes, "Oh, Gizmo, it's good to see you." And I go, "It's going to be fun covering you all year." He goes, "Well, I hope so." And I'm like, "Buddy, you're fine." Good job, good start.
Are you guys agents for Bellemare? Those two guys are like the agents.
Buddy.
I am, in fact.
You're kind of
and
French.
I
so.
would like to get the 1% cut of his incoming contract. So,
Sounds
drinks on you.
yeah, in fact, I am.
Pick
No,
up
I'm
a quick
a big
$8,000, buddy. Yeah, nice.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I'm a big fan. Here's what I'm not a fan of is the age, right? You know, but like you said, if he can still play with pace, smart people around the Avs right now, right? Smart people. What you do with a guy like that, because you're in the West, not in the East, is manage his load, manage his off days, manage his, as you know, he's not going to play 15 minutes a night. It's going to be more like, you know, go take a face off here, you know, go play your minutes right here, be an intelligent young man, because he's still a young man at 39, in the locker room. They lost Cogliano. They lost Jack Johnson. You do need that pedigree. Even though he's never won a Stanley Cup, he sure talks like a Stanley Cup winner, and he is.
He lost one.
No, he's lost one. We all know that. And you said it. But I'm just saying, I think if you manage the way, you know, his season's going to go with the travel and the days off and, you know, when to get him when off ice and not on ice and all that stuff, I think he's going to be more than fine. He's a very well-tuned, fine-tuned athlete. So I'm with you guys. I was kidding about the agent. It's just, you know, I think he should be a good fit.
The one thing I will say is we still need to see what it looks like in a game.
Absolutely.
We still need to see what it looks like at full speed because, yes, it's a training camp. Yes, he's on a PTO. Not knocking him. I thought he had a good day and is working hard out there. But that little extra when you get in the game that counts, sometimes it can be harder to find that extra gear.
Let's switch gears. We had a chance to catch up just briefly with Casey Middlestadt. Let's hear what he had to say following day one of training camp, and then we'll talk about him.
Your day one.
We talked about what a smart player you are, Bednar, and we talked last year about how it was taking some time to get with this and stuff. How much more comfortable do you feel with this, you know, coming into this new season and just some changes that you might have made?
Yeah, I think, obviously just being here last year for whatever it was, 3 months, I think, you know, it kind of helps you hit the ground running this year and, you know, get to know some guys so I'm not walking into the locker room blind. And, so I think, honestly, that side of it more than anything is very important and, you know, got to know the system and felt pretty comfortable in it by the end of it. So, trying to pick up where we left off and, you know, find that same feeling.
Jared mentioned yesterday that he might want to use you on the penalty kill a little bit. Is that an exciting challenge for you?
Yeah, I didn't know he said that, but news to me. But of course, I'm willing to play anywhere and wherever he wants me, I trust him. So, wherever he wants me to play, I'm happy to do it.
All right, Casey in the room. What do we think of Casey today? Just it's as simple as that at the moment.
Casey looked really good today. I had no problems with him. I think the Avs are kind of already aware of who he is as a player. But the reality is it's welcome to Colorado Avalanche hockey time for Casey Middlestadt.
Yeah.
It's got to be this every day with this team. He came in the middle of the season and learned what it's about, but now he gets a full season to do it. And he has to be that guy that is able to be behind McKinnon. You talk about it all the time, Eric, where McKinnon gets all the hard matchups. Casey's got to eat hungry on some of those easier ones.
I like that. I like eat hungry. I love the way you just said it. But I love Casey Middlestadt. I was so wrong on him. I told you guys I was so wrong, and I thought I was dead set on, nope, it's never going to turn around. This is what he is in Buffalo. I was wrong. There's a lot more in the can when you open it, and it starts with, like you just said, a position like this, not the center position, situational where you are in the lineup, behind McKinnon. He's in a great spot. He is in a perfect spot to enhance his career to a point where now it's time for him to what? If you look at the lineup today, what he had, we all know it's not set in stone. It's all good, but it does tell a message. Make people better around you. Make people better around you.
That's a good teammate too, right? That's what
right.
you want.
This guy can do it because Rudo and I were looking through the window, and then he made a backhand play in tight, and his hands right against his body. Like, we both looked at each other. We're like, what is that? That's not normal. You can't do that. You're not supposed to be able to do that. He does things that are special. He does things that most of the league can do, and that's why I say he's in a great spot here. From day one, he's going to have to show it. Like you said, what did you say?
Eat hungry.
Eat hungry. We all. Yaya's always hungry. I'm not. But eat hungry and then show that you can do things that are special in a great environment on a winning team and make people around you better.
And his importance to the team last year was obvious, right? We talked about the second line center thing almost every day for like 5 straight months. But it's arguably more important this year because of all the issues that they have at wing. They need, right now, you look at their forward core, the center depth is the strength. It's Nathan McKinnon, it's Casey Middlestadt, it's Ross Colton, and it's probably Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. And with Middlestadt there, he has to be that guy. He has financial security. He's got stability. He has expectations. He's not in Buffalo anymore. No more just going out there and well, whatever happens, happens. No, you have to be the guy here. Mm-hmm. Every single day, you have to bring your absolute very best. Otherwise, Nathan McKinnon yells at you.
I did like what the press conference yesterday. And if you didn't catch it, you can by all means go on our Twitter and multiple feeds as well as YouTube because we have the presser from yesterday at the Inverness Hotel there. Nice golf course, by the way, there. Like that course. But I liked what Nathan McKinnon said. They said, hey, how do you measure your success or your legacy as a hockey player? Is it in the multiple individual accolades you've won, or is it in the championships? And circling back to what Eric was talking about at the beginning, he said it's in championships. He goes, I want to do whatever I can do to help the group succeed and the group win, and it's absolutely measured in championships. And I like that. That's the team mentality I think you want out of every single guy. Ross Colton, we had a chance to talk with him after the first session, and then we'll talk about the first session as well in a little bit more detail, and then move on to session number 2. But I had a chance to catch up with Ross Colton, and one of the things about Ross that a lot of people don't know is that he spends his summer in New Jersey skating, and that's where his training is. And there's a real good group of NHLers that participate in that over the course of the summer. They have like a little mini league type of thing. And of course, that's where Johnny Gaudreau also participated in his off-season training, including this year. So we caught up with Ross Colton about just where he's at in his off-season training and had a chance to talk about Johnny Gaudreau a little bit as well. What's sort of the initial mentality coming into camp?
Yeah, I think, for a team, obviously we know that we have the guys in here that can get the job done, and, we all have that same goal that we set every time we step into camp. So, that's a team goal. And then for me personally, I don't like to look too much into that stuff. I think, guys are coming in, guys are fighting for spots. Doesn't matter who you are. I think that's the nice thing about this team is nothing's given, everything's earned. And, that starts with the leadership. That's the kind of the goals that they put into place. So for me, just kind of try to have a good summer, get the body right, and come in ready to go from day one.
Yeah, how was the off season? Did you do anything differently? Do you feel good coming into the year? Was it a productive training in the off season for you?
Yeah, no, it was huge. It was a little longer of a summer than we would have liked. But sometimes that's never a bad thing. So took some weeks off there, kind of just relax, get the body right. Did what I need to do, and then did a good job. Just kind of same thing as I usually just work on conditioning. Kind of working in all 3 zones and kind of just training with some other pro guys, getting ready for day one.
Yeah, I was going to ask, who'd you skate with this summer? Kind of whereabouts were you?
Yeah, I'm back home in Jersey, so we have a good group of kind of pro guys, some AHL guys, some college guys, and it's sad. I skated with Johnny Gaudreau all summer, and it's obviously devastating. So obviously his family and him are in thoughts and prayers every time I'm on the ice, really.
hockey's such a bond and such a brotherhood. I talk about it all the time. Anytime something like that happens, obviously it's hard on the whole community. But are you doing okay? Is there anything you want to say to the family or anything along those lines? I'll give you the opportunity to if you want to. If not, all good.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's obviously tough. I mean, we skated a lot together. Every summer I go home, we play in some charity tournaments. He was always there, and he's probably the biggest name in New Jersey hockey, at the moment. And so to just not have him around, at the rink in the summers, but even around the NHL is obviously going to be devastating. So it's unfortunate, and like I said, he's got a family at home, and everybody loved him, and he was a great person, obviously a great hockey player, but even better person. So he's going to be missed.
Appreciate that and the sentiment, and condolences. You guys have a great group. I know there's a little bit of uncertainty with guys, Lackey obviously coming back, Gabe, Chushkin. Do you feel that this is a group that can get it done no matter who's in the lineup, and that you sort of always improvise, adapt, and overcome the situation in this team?
Yeah, 100%. I think, we have the horses in here. We saw it last year. We were, I hate to, talk about games like that, but, we lose some guys. We're, an overtime goal away from forcing a Game 7, and you never know what could happen. So we battled. I think that's the mindset that we always have is, we're never going to give up. But I think right now the mindset is, those guys are going to come back at some point. So let's kind of jump out to a hot start. We have I think anytime you got guys like Nate and Mikko and Kale on your team, you're going to have a good shot at winning. And it's kind of just, fitting the pieces around them and kind of guys doing their jobs and, filling different roles. So we're all excited. We know we can do it, and just looking forward to, the first game.
Thank you bunch.
Good stuff from Ross, and the sentiment, for the Gaudreau family that echoes around the NHL, heavy. Cale Makar did a wonderful job of that opening with his press conference yesterday and offering the condolences to the family, and we certainly have done that as well. Just a tough thing, a classy move by the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. Don't know if you saw him, but they'll leave his locker and a jersey in there for the entire season. I imagine they will probably do that in perpetuity. And in addition to that, Sean Monahan coming out today with some very heavy comments. Those two were as blood gets without being blood. And we talk about hockey family, and we will talk about it till we're blue in the face. Bill Dobbs here at Family Sports Center in South Suburban has done the same thing for us. But if you're in the hockey family, you are in the hockey family, and it's a ripple effect, that's for sure. So our thoughts, obviously, with the Gaudreau family, but also certainly with Colton as well. I am starving. I'm very hungry. It's been a long day here at the Family Sports Center, and they have a wonderful, wonderful kitchen, but they don't have Raising Cane's chicken fingies. I love chicken fingers, and I love Raising Cane's, especially because of the sauce. And I definitely am going to make a pit stop at Raising Cane's for that craveable hand-battered chicken fingers on the way home. Always cooked to order, made just for you, and they are incredibly quick and fast. So order up some of those chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and don't forget the creamy coleslaw. And, of course, the secret cane sauce, which is so delicious.
Become an ASMR ad read for a minute there.
I was going to say, did the sun just go down?
What the? Location. Or you can even order mobily.
Don't look at me.
Or online.
No, I'm uncomfortable. I need an adult.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers are hands down the best. I like to make a little sandwich out of it, and I do go with the coleslaw because I kind of put that on there, and then you fold the Texas toast around. But for cook-to-order hand-battered chicken fingers, race into Raising Cane's. Turbocharge your chicken fingers and get them even faster by ordering online at RaisingCanes.com or through your mobile app. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. I used to pick my nephew up from high school all the time, and obviously, when they're in high school and they're teenagers, they're always hungry, and he's like Raising Cane's, and it was like a 15-20 minute drive from his high school. But I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go to Raising Cane's.
Hey,
love them.
It works out.
Very delicious.
Look, Raising Cane's might be a good pregame meal.
It is.
Just throwing it after that.
Nice and light. Yep, good.
You know what comes after a pregame meal, right?
You got to get to the game.
Yeah, you do got to get to the game. It's game time. That's what comes next. Now, right now it might be training camp season. By the way, free and open to the public. Come out and say hi. But come Monday, preseason games start. You can get your tickets to Avs preseason games and any other tickets you might need with Game Time. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets, whatever it might be. It doesn't even have to be sports. It can be concerts. It can be the theater. They've got you covered with Game Time. Over 15 million people use Game Time to get their tickets. So, pick an upcoming live event that you'd like to go to. Check out Game Time. They'll show you the best tickets out there. You'll get with them, and they guarantee you the best price on tickets. If you find tickets cheaper somewhere else, they'll reimburse your account 110% of the ticket price. Get over there, download the Game Time app today. There's a link down in the description. And use code DNVR when you sign up to get $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. Terms apply, and make sure you use that DNVR code when you create your account. It is not really game time, but it will be very soon in Avalanche land.
Good job, buddy.
I did my best.
Yeah, I like you. I'm proud of you. One dog. All right, so we talked about the first session. We heard from some guys. We got Coach Bednar coming up in just a few minutes for you. He talked at length and has some really good stuff. I'm actually really love listening to him talk. But let's move on to the second session. AJ, what was the big takeaways from session number 2 this afternoon that just wrapped up about an hour ago?
I felt like this was really where a couple of those guys in roster spots really had good days. I really liked Nikolai Kovalenko, and I really liked Jason Polin.
Same.
Those were 2 guys that stood out to me for different reasons. Kovalenko playing alongside Casey Middlestadt showed off the kind of skill level that you could say,
You could see it.
Okay.
Oh, he's back.
Let's
Let's
give him a couple of weeks. You know, like they had the kind of chemistry right away that you could at least see. All right, well, we might get to see them play a little bit of time in preseason games together, and maybe beyond that, but encouraging. Yuri Inala on the other side, less so. But Jason Polin playing next to Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, I thought Jason Polin outplayed Yoel Kiviranta, who was on that left wing, quite a bit. And I could not help but laugh when Polin got the puck in the corner and he pushed it away from him so that the defenseman could go get it, just so he could go up and push him over and then take the puck back. And I was like, this is so unnecessary. But you love a guy that wants to make that kind of impact, that is seeking that kind of contact. Right now, I'm really feeling very encouraged about Jason Polin fighting for 12, 13, 14 forwards, somewhere in that area.
For me, if you don't just look at just today, the one day of training camp, if you don't look at history, and obviously this is cheating a lot, but you don't look at previous seasons, you don't look at anything else, just today, that line, Bellemare, Polin, Kiviranta, would be my 4th line starting the season.
Same.
They stood out as guys that were just earning it a little bit more than everyone else. And that even more credit to Polin, because I didn't think Kiviranta was bad today. Polin was just better.
Yeah.
And him and Bellemare seemed to click right away. Seems like it makes a ton of sense for them to be in that role in Colorado. Now, as you said, they've got multiple more weeks where they have to keep doing it to earn it. But it's starting to come together, I think, for Jason Polin. He had a really good rookie face-off. He had a little bit of a taste last year. You're starting to see where he's going to get in this year.
You see where the momentum he had last year from the rookie face-off got halted.
Injury, yeah.
When he got hurt at the end of their last rookie face-off game and then struggled to get back into the preseason mix. He's healthy right now, and he's getting that opportunity.
And this is what I want to add. Like, it makes a big difference once you've been here. He was here last year. Yeah, he got hurt. In rookie camp, but we liked him. Who knows what his camp would have been. Did he ever come back in training camp? I'm trying to remember with the big club.
Honestly, don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it doesn't matter. You're derailed a little bit. It's, and then you go play in the American League, learn, live it, come back this year on a mission. I'm going to use the word on a mission because if he's smart, it looks like he's smart. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be a north-south player. I'm going to go, and he started last week in L.A., and I'm going to make an impression. We'll use my line that I use all the time. I'm going to make them make decisions. Rudo just made a decision for him. Let's just pretend Rudo's the coach, which, again, he's an intelligent hockey mind. He says, what does he say? He's on my 4th line. Absolutely. And we're seeing the same thing. And don't think that those guys in the front office and on the coaching staff don't see it. And don't think that Schneekloth is not giving him some good words, too, as well, from having him last year. And this is where he was at. This is where he finished. He's on a mission right now. There's a difference between, for a college kid coming in like this, compare, for example, this year. Again, I'm not here to. I've been there. It's hard when you walk. Chase Bradley. I haven't really seen him, right? And this is when I say that, I mean all the respect in the world. But next year, you come in, you've lived it, you've seen it. Let's see how you react. But right now, Poland's been outstanding.
I want to go back to a guy in session number 1, and we got a long press conference from Coach. Time is flying by, but let's talk about Calvin DeHaan in session number 2 while we're here, because I thought he looked good, and yes, I am a fan and a friend, but I thought he looked good objectively.
Well, I'll jump in first. You know, when you come and you've been around the league for so long, and, you know, it's got to be close to 10 years now, right, Calvin DeHaan? And then you been on different organizations. You come in, and you still have the butterflies. So today's day 1. It's new. It's a new impression with the coaches. And then you just want to do well. Is it a crowded decor? It is. And I don't care if you are Brandstrom, or if you're Sean Behrens, or if you're Calvin DeHaan, or if you're Sam Girard, or whatever. You want to make sure you come in here today and you're on top of stuff, and that you feel good about your game. Like I always say, like we always say, it's not up to you to decide who gets on the ice and who dresses that night. The only thing you can do is control. What you can control is just to go out there every day and to be a solid citizen of practice and a solid soldier and a guy that gets it and brings something to the table. Is he going to bring some PK stuff? Is he going to bring, you know, like Nolan Pratt's going to be, okay, and then you got guys fighting for you. I'm not saying he's going to be a scratch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is no injuries right now, knock on wood. But the hard thing to do is not analyze, whether you're a young guy or you're a veteran. It's hard because you're seeing this and you see, where am I in the pecking order? You know what I mean? What you got to do is just get out there and play well. And I thought today he was solid. He was good. He is coming as advertised.
Yeah, I mean, he looked as good as he can as a defenseman in these things. They're a little bit more.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not playing a game. You're doing drills. You're literally standing around for 5 minutes with your glove off, and then you're
right. So there's a limitation to how much you can really take out of these things. But for DeHaan, honestly, I'm not that worried about this training camp at all for him. Everyone knows what he is, what he's going to bring. This is more for him about something that we'll get into when Bednar talks about it. But this is him learning the Avs systems, getting up to speed in the next couple of weeks of figuring out the way the Avs want to play hockey and how he fits into that. And, yeah, there might be some positional battles there with Brandstrom and Shillington, but ultimately, DeHaan's going to get into his games and he'll be fine. Not someone I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's what I found really encouraging was the feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not a fast skater, but he chops it up quickly. And when you're talking about a team that wants to play with pace and they want to play with that kind of activity, in the 1-to-1, replacing Jack Johnson, who has lost a lot of that foot speed and the ability to play any kind of a transition game. I felt really encouraged by seeing what we did from DeHaan in that area today. I'm very comfortable. I've watched a lot of Calvin DeHaan. Been a fan for a really long time of his game. I'm very comfortable with him in zone defense. I'm very comfortable with him as part of a penalty killing unit. He's got the physicality. He's got good size. He blocks shots. Really, the only thing that's kept him from being one of the better defensive defensemen of this generation is injuries. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that's really held him back and has created this sort of journeyman-like status for him over the last handful of years. But watching him today, I'm sitting there just watching him going, okay, you're an Av now.
Yep.
You're here today. This looks really good to me. I'm going to wildly overreact and say you don't need to be going anywhere for the next year or two.
Yeah, he looks good. I got the hockey hog in the room too, and he's solid still. Like he's Calvin DeHaan. He'll be on a pod with us tomorrow here in our studio, and I'm excited about that. Guy hasn't aged a day since I met him. So love hearing that from you guys. Real quick before we get to Coach in a few minutes here, give me a quick take on Cal Ritchie's first day.
He's a rookie. It's his first day of camp. All the confidence and swag that he had in rookie camp and in the face-off was gone. This was a lot more, a lot of instruction.
Bright lights.
Yeah, a lot of we're going to throw a lot of stuff at him and just see how he handles it. I don't want to say it was bad. I'm not going to bury him or anything like that. But it was definitely a reminder that, hey, this is a process here.
I will say, just to play the other side of it a little bit, the Avs did some drills early with some 3-on-2 with the chaser drills. Ritchie was not fast, but he was keeping up. He was not getting completely blown out of the water by the speed out there. So, plenty of work to do for the kid, and we'll see what really happens in real NHL preseason games, like all of these guys. But, yeah, he's a rookie.
More of him later on in the, of course, during the week as well. But your thoughts initially?
Yeah, quickly. I mean, it takes time to get used to the pace. And sometimes it's a couple practices. Sometimes it's a few months. Sometimes, everybody's different. Everybody adapts differently. Did I look at him a lot today? I got to be honest with you, no. Because I've seen him all weekend, last weekend, and And today I was looking at different things. But the way I looked at it quickly, he's with two young guys, right? He wasn't with veterans. I do believe, and I'll say it again, if this guy's going to make it, if this guy's going to be part of the opening night roster, you're going to have to surround him with some adults, like AJ always says.
All right, we are going to take a quick pause, and then when we come back, it will be Coach Bednar's conference. All right, well, Coach Jared Bednar met with the media following.
Well, hang on, Giz.
Oh.
I know we're gonna get into Bednar in a second here, but I have it on good authority that that you might have some other information on some stuff you've put together.
Oh, yeah, in 15 minutes, actually, once you're done watching our pod, jump on over to NHL Network. I will be hosting NHL tonight and tomorrow from Half Moon Bay, California. I'm not getting on a plane or anything fancy like that tonight, but over the summer we did the Professional Athlete Golf Tour. It had a group of 7 guys come out to Half Moon Bay for 3 days, and they competed against each other to figure out who the best golfer in the NHL was. It was actually a ton of fun. My good friend Grant Fuhr was there. James Wisniewski was there. Michael Del Zotto was there. Devontae Smith-Pelly was there. Terry Yake was there. Jason Demers. And that airs on NHL Network at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. Episode 1's today, episode 2's tomorrow. But yeah, a little NHL Network hosting for the kid. It's fun. It's good.
There you go. DNVR growing up. NHL Network people.
We're trying. We're having fun.
And I just want to add to for the anybody else was wondering why the helmet was here. This is Rudo's old helmet.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show it to you guys. And actually, he used it last season in his beer league team. So
honestly, it's probably is closer to fitting than you might think.
It looks good. Why did we not do that the entire show?
It's falling off immediately.
We'll get that fixed up. Check out the PAGT after you're done watching us. But right now, let's hear from Coach Jared Bednar.
I guess just overall impressions of where the group's at intensity-wise, and then if there was any of the younger guys that maybe stood out amongst the NHLers for you.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was a pretty good day. Lots of information thrown at him today. In order to get to, I went through the roster, and there's only about 10 guys that haven't been here, at all. We have another 5 or 6 guys that have been to development camps, that have kind of seen some of our systems, that have been to rookie camp now. But with some of the returning guys, Magna, Jacob McDonald, Bellemare, Tynan, they're all familiar with it. So we wanted to get into some 5-on-5 stuff right away. So the video review this morning was long. There was a lot of detail into it. And we didn't expect it to be perfect, but I thought the first group probably started out a little rough on their execution side of things. Pace got better, intensity got better as the practice went on. And I thought the second group was outstanding right away from the drop of the puck in practice. So that's a good sign when you have, a little younger group in the second group that really showed up. The D were really solid in that. And yeah, I like the way some of our guys played, guys that we're keeping an eye on, like Olesen, Foodie, for young guys stepping in, competing against some of our guys, looked good. Brandstrom was my first look at him. DeHaan in the second group. That we had some guys that, had real nice days for us.
Coach, what were your thoughts on Bellemare and how you thought he looked coming in today?
Yeah, I thought he looked good too. Obviously that's a guy that's competing for a job. We've got an opening in that slot. We have a handful of guys that we're looking at for that position, but he looked good again. Kind of know what to expect from Belly, from him being here before, and he kind of jumping back in seamless again, bringing his leadership and consistency on the ice.
How much does that leadership and that familiarity with a player like that help?
Well, it helps. I think it helps the player, be at their best right away. When you're new, say a guy like Parker Kelly today, we like we're going to try him at center for a little bit here and give him an opportunity. So he played center today. Lots of information again, so it looked like he was thinking a little bit out there. Where Belly didn't, he was just playing on instinct and being able to, show what he's got right away. So, but we want to have some flexibility, and so we're going to try a few different things throughout training camp.
We talked to Mikko today about his future and lack of a contract at this point. How much does that come up with you and him at all, and how much do you have to manage that at all as this goes forward?
No, shouldn't have to. I mean, I've talked to Mikko, and I know Mikko, he's focused on having a good year, he knows the impact that he needs to make on our team, and he had a good summer of training. He's ready to go. I can't say it's not going to be in the back of his mind, but reality of it is that could happen at any point. It could take a while. It's hard to say. So we got to go play, and that's what he needs to focus on, and his agent, and worry about the contract part of it. And I don't get involved in that. So I'm coaching him like I do any of the other guys that we have here.
Is there anything to Shillington not skating with the group today?
Tough immigration day yesterday, and his gear didn't make it. So he went and tried new gear early on, skated with Lehkonen probably before all you guys got here to get on the ice in case it doesn't come tomorrow. And then he did an off-ice workout, and he was in on our in the second group's video session, so he didn't miss anything but some reps on the ice. He'll hit the ice tomorrow, whether his gear shows up or not. Hopefully it gets here. It was still in France when last time I checked, so I'm not positive on that.
Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about Mikko. He's such an interesting player. He can go through stretches where maybe the analytic numbers don't look great. The way that it looks out there is great, but you look at the score sheet at the end of the night, he's a goal, 2 assists.
Yeah.
What, challenges, or do you like having a player like that 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 even if he's maybe not doing exactly what you want, he finds a way to produce? Just kind of your thoughts on what Mikko's season went last year.
Yeah, I think we have some non-negotiables with our team, regardless if you're a guy that scores 50 every year and plays 25 minutes, or you play 4 minutes a night and you're a call-up guy. We have certain things that we want to make sure that we're paying attention to. Doesn't change with Mikko, Mac, Kale. To not be fully on in a game and still be able to produce. There's only a handful of guys around the league that can do that, and it's the elite talents like Mikko. So I think that when you're not having a good night, you're trying to still accomplish something and get on the board, and if that's your job to help produce, then you still try to find ways to produce. So he could be having an off night and still make an elite play and help us win hockey games. And so I understand that you're not going to be at your best for 82 games and have the same intensity or the same legs that you have one night as you do to the next, but you still got to find a way. And he's been able to do that. That's why his numbers are where they are every year. And I would say that we're going to try and drive some more consistency out of all of our guys, including our top guys this year.
With Brandstrom, he's still a young guy. I think he's just from 25. I guess, what did you see from him on tape? And I guess is he kind of a great fit for how you guys like to play?
Well, for sure. His skill set and the way he wants to play, and if he's playing to the strengths of his game, it's another guy for us that can get up, get in the play. He's a good breakout guy, great skater. He has the ability to help you produce off the rush or in the offensive zone, and you see all that on video. Undersized guy, can he defend hard enough? He can play well enough on the defensive side of things. We've had a lot of undersized guys here before that seem to have been able to adapt and get the job done on the defensive side. I don't see why he couldn't. And so we'll go to work with him on his game and try to free him up to play our style and the way he wants to play, and get up and down the ice and have some fun, creating some offense. And so I think he's a fit for our team. Same as a guy like Sam Malinsky. They have similar skill sets, and guys that have been able to produce wherever they've been before, and now they're here, and hopefully they can do it for us.
Don mentioned there hasn't been much discussion of his role just yet, and in looking at that roster battle for the third pair, you usually favor to stay at home defenseman type there. Is he embroiled in the roster battle all
Yeah, oh yeah, I think they all are, you know. And that would include our top four, you know, to a certain extent. I mean, we got to put the best group on the ice we can on any given night, and sometimes that changes depending on who we're playing and their personnel and the way they want to play in the matchup. So even though Calvin has a different skill set than, say, a Brandstrom or Malinsky, if you put one guy in, you might be missing something else, and if you put the other guy in, you could be missing something different. So, yeah, those decisions probably for me, they're all capable of playing for us. It's a matter of like who we're playing and what matchups they're going to see on any given night. What like if they're hitting the ice against big, heavy third and fourth line every shift, and you know, you're going to see a guy like DeHaan. He's a great penalty kill shot blocker. He has strengths that I don't know if some of these other guys have yet. But we'll work with him on all the same stuff and, yeah, see who sort of excels.
Ross Colton had talked about, he said, you know, they felt good flying around out there with Miles Wood and Logan O'Connor. And
yep.
Obviously, after Logan's surgery, how do you think he looked? And I mean, obviously.
But he's been great. Yeah, I mean, he's been feeling healthy and working hard, and has looked great for quite some time now, months. So it's different now. You're getting a bunch of contact and everything. But he'll play, like, Logan's ready to go. He's going to play some exhibition games, maybe even some early on in the exhibition schedule. And then, you know, as you know, we like to get down to our group, and at least a group with a couple of the battles down for that Game 5 and Game 6 of exhibition, which he'll play in as well. So want to get him back on the ice. It's been a while. We want him to get some games. But just getting out in practice for a guy like Logan, right, it's just going to help him in working all these 5-on-5 drills that we're doing. It should get us up to speed quickly.
A few more, Corey. You mentioned the top four. It looked different today. Besides it just being day one of camp, what were you sort of?
It looked different.
Well, yeah, you just didn't have Cale and Devon together.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to learn to play apart. You know, we've got other options there. I think we have guys that can play with Cale. We've got guys that can play with Devon. So might as well start from day one. Get them used to some other partners.
John, go ahead first, and we'll come over here.
Just from a hockey-loving energy standpoint, did you still have that first day of school feeling today? Like,
always. Yeah, I think always. I think you got to find your rhythm as a coach too. You know, I got in the way today, took a puck in the head, which usually doesn't happen. So it's happening fast. Trying to watch as much as you can from individual players and from the team. But I say this every year, it's an exciting time of year. You know, you're excited for the organization, what the changes that have been made, the new players coming in. You're trying to get to know them as fast as you can. But there's 54 guys here, I think, and some of them just like rolling in recently. So getting to know some of the new guys, like having conversations over the next couple of weeks with some of these guys, making sure that they're understanding all the review and coaching that we're doing, and then we want to see them implemented on the ice. And then you get excited, like, to get your team ready to go for exhibition, and you know it's going to get, like, you know, what you're seeing on the ice should get better and better throughout the exhibition schedule as you start adding more of the top-end players. And it's an exciting time of year, you know. It's everyone's looking forward to the season. It's always a long off season, regardless of where you finish and when it ends. It seems like it's a long layoff, and getting back to see these guys and competing with them again, it's a lot of fun.
Mr. Devin, go ahead. Two more.
No Andre Pavel. Is there an update on him?
Yeah, he got hurt in the rookie tournament, so he's out right now.
Yesterday you mentioned, when I asked about the waiver wire for goalies, you said you don't know if that's something you guys would explore. Is it Trent Miner? Is it Kevin Mandolese? Is it both of them? Who of those guys do you kind of feel confident being in?
No clue. Yeah, I mean, neither one of them have played for us, but I feel good with Gorgian and Noonan, so, you know, that's likely our starting pair, and then we'll see what they do coming out of the gate and how they play. I think we're always, like I said yesterday, regardless of position, perceived depth of whatever position we have, if something comes across that makes sense for our team, I'm sure we'll explore it, goalies included. So, but we feel good about, you know, our two guys, and we're getting a good look at some of the other guys. Like Miner's been with the organization now for a couple of years. Mandalise is new. He's played some games. He's, you know, a big guy. We'll evaluate him as we go through camp. And, you know, looks like the Eagles are going to have a really good team based on some of the guys that we saw here so far today. You know, so a lot of the guys here will make their way down there and should be a really nice squad down there as well. And I think goaltending is included in that.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, that's why Yaya's the guy. Our producer, Tiff, does a great job as well, but times it out perfectly. That brings a conclusion to day one from training camp. Good stuff, guys, yeah?
Yeah, it's great to have sort of kind of real hockey back.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting closer. Day 2 tomorrow. That means we're getting closer to game 1.
Yep.
All right, listen, tons and tons of stuff coming from you. Make sure you're following on our social channels, right? Because on Twitter, you're getting real-time updates. You're getting a ton of stuff. So make sure you have notifications sent so you know every time we throw something up on Twitter. Make sure you are subscribing, of course, to the podcast because we've got so much great content for you. If you're not yet a diehard, make sure you are a diehard. We've got a ton of exclusive content coming to that this year. And on tomorrow's show, we got Calvin DeHaan joining us in here. Friend of the show, friend of all of ours. Looking forward to getting a chance to talk to him. Yeah, listen, I mean, it's pretty simple if you're asking me. If you want the best, most inclusive, most in-depth coverage of your Colorado Avalanche, there is really not anywhere else you're going than the DNVR Avs podcast. We've got you covered from tip to tail. Thank you so much for watching. Now go over to NHL Network and watch the Professional Athlete Golf Tour. Thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow.